I think one of the first things I would tell parents is start to have these conversations with your kids now.
Mm,
It's never too early and it's never too late. Start having discussions about what social media brings to your kiddo's life. In other words, don't start off with, okay, I have to restrict, you can't do this, this, and this. Let's be honest, especially, with preteens and teens, you're going to get a blank face. And in their head, they're saying, I'm going to do this after mom turns around or dad turns around. Uh, but kind of open it up to a conversation about what are you getting from this? What brings you joy from this? Is it talking to people? Is it meeting new people? Is it working as a distraction for you? Is it just like giving you new information? What is the benefit and the function of social media for your kiddos? And I would not be surprised as you start to have that conversation, they also may not really know what the function of social media is for them. And I think that's really important to start teaching them to look at and be able to assess. I
mhm,
know adults that can't do it really well, and it's really beneficial.
mhm,
Um, but having that discussion then allows you as a parent to think about, okay, if my teen is looking for social connection through social media, how do I help them get that in a way that's healthy? And how do I then start to parse out when that's not what's happening?
mhm,
So for this kiddo in that example, it was looking for community support. It was looking for people that could help validate when he was feeling good about himself. And because that was a function of it, we talked about, well, if we do that in this big of an atmosphere, right, there's a probability you're going to get people who tell you things you don't want to hear. And do you actually care about, you know, Johnny from 12th grade math that you haven't seen in 4 years? No, you don't care about him. So why would you want to share that with him? Who do you want to share with that that will kind of provide what you're looking for? So you can start to make those little adjustments in how they're using social media, and it becomes a collaborative process versus a restriction and setting limits that your teens or kids aren't a part of building with you. And when they don't build it with you, it's very likely they're not going to follow it either.
right, right. Yeah, so making it really collaborative. I think that's a quite a profound point actually, because we that question of why am I doing this?
Hmm.
I don't think for adults gets asked enough, let alone kids, right? And unfortunately, a lot of these products are designed such that you find yourself in it without necessarily having a goal in the first place.
Yep.
And so I think that's a great point, that simply asking the question of what am I hoping to get out of this? What am I hoping to create? What value can emerge from an interaction that I'm having between other people, or through consuming content or creating it. Um, it's definitely a question and a conversation I think that should be happening a lot more often.
Yeah. And I fully admit there are times when I know, oh, I'm scrolling through Instagram today purely because I want to distract myself and I want to do something mindless. And
Hmm.
that's totally fine as well. But it's also really beneficial for me to know that I'm doing that, because with that knowledge, I'm also able to kind of track, all right, I've been doing this for like 20 minutes. Maybe I should go do something else now. Versus when, at least personally, when I don't have an understanding of why I'm doing something, I
Hmm.
sit in it for longer. And
Hmm.
then it does start that cycle of, "Ugh, why was I doing this for so long? Right now, I wasted time that I could have done to finish this." And it just starts like guilt cycle that just
Hmm.
doesn't put me in a good place.